this the first Australian festival of this size that you've been really hands-on involved in?
Yeah. I was involved with the booking of the main stages for the Hamsonic Festival in Jakarta from 2013 to, I want to say, 18. And I'm still great friends with the owner and producer of that festival, Ravel Gennady, and the Gennady family. They're excellent, dear friends of mine and my family. And it's a great festival. But I stepped away just because, it was, yeah, I stepped away because at one point I was like, oh, you know what? There's someone else here that can do this job as well. And we had a bit going on, and I was opening up a restaurant and all that at the time as well. So it was kind of like, there's just too much going on. But always had that sort of itch to scratch. And we were going to do our own festival here in Perth at some point. It had been talk for about 3 or 4 years. And then, the Froth crew, who I love and adore and get along with famously and have done for a long time now, they were like, well, why don't we look at doing this? And so we had a chat in-house here at Soundworks, and everyone was like, well, we've wanted to do it, so why not? So here we are from just saying, well, we've got to be selective and stuff to go, let's do a fucking festival. Yeah. You got to be a
Just
certain
hands on.
crazy bench job.
So, I mean, what is it about Perth do you think that would make this festival successful there?
Well, there hasn't been anything here for like 10 years since the last Soundwave. I think it was 2015, maybe, I want to say.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then it's just been this barren wasteland. And we cop shit over the years for being from here and not putting shows in Perth. Um, still do cop a bit of that and all that, but it's whatever. It's a business. Most people get it, and I don't expect people to always understand it. It's not their job to understand why we do things. But we looked at just what it's time. So we put it on. We put together a great lineup. Jason and we think we've curated some quite a cool lineup across the whole thing, and Perth's got a little bit to prove, and obviously it doesn't have it's doing well, but it doesn't have the history of the last 4 years that Adelaide does, where people like yourself, Froth's going to happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good day. So that's what we're hoping to educate people with moving forward, and they can make this their own festival as well. But the Froth brand is just so strong, and having been over to a couple of them and had our international touring acts on the festival stuff before, I knew it's going to be a success because it's a great festival. It's run so well. Jason, Cassie, and Anita, they're great to work with, everything like that. So there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, but a lot of laughter and enjoyment going on behind the scenes too. So that helps.
Nice. So how do you then market the show or promote the festival, I should say, for Perth? Because I'd imagine, based on what you've said there, then not only is there no history, I would imagine as well that the clientele, for want of a better expression, the punters, they would be of a different mindset as well than say the East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. Initially, like, it came out very strong because people were kind of like, "Holy shit, we've got something!" And then there's a lot of competition in the market at the moment as well, because Parkway have got their festival on and all this sort of stuff as well. And then there's other shows like Viagra Boys are around, and Tools on sale and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of options for people to spend their bucks. So our job has essentially been to sort of inform people and let them know that, hey, you wanted this thing. It's here now. Get involved, all that sort of stuff. So the actual marketing of it, going back to old school styles of going back to what used to be street press, which is now online, and all that sort of stuff, going to community radio, old school flyering and handouts, stuff we've never done before, like putting up ads on bus shelters around the Metallica show on Saturday, flying a Metallica pop-up store, like all these different things. It's forced us to get quite creative. Who in 1991, in April 91, on the Black Album tour, would have thought Metallica pop-up store? So, but here we are. And so just I know I've enjoyed that bit, and I'm enjoying that bit of being forced to be a bit more creative rather than just pushing stuff out through our standard channels. It's been quite a learning process, which I really enjoyed and I'm still enjoying.
So, say you're on the radio now, or some punter stops you in the street and goes, "Hey, you're that guy running that festival," and they ask you, "Why should I go to the festival?" How would you explain it?
I would sell it on more of the experience of what you get for that 200 something dollars plus booking fee and whatever. And it's the experience. And I think that's what a festival is. It's great. We all know there's going to be bands and you can enjoy bands, but it's it's that whole idea of you get to spend a day, and for our sort of age group and the lineup that a lot of that lineup is for 40-plus-year-old people. It is a bit of nostalgia. It's take a step back to why you were into this stuff in the first place, and in the same breath, discover some new bands and that side of things as well, like discovering new music, listening to older tunes. Understanding that that idea that that the younger people are coming up and they've got bands to pitch that you might like and all that as well. So it's what you might discover when you go to a festival. And that's what I've always liked about festivals is it's great. You know the bands you're going to enjoy, but you stumble across to another stage and go, fuck, who are these guys? That type of thing. So, and I think that's the difference between a festival. And that's what I would say to someone. That's the difference between a festival and a gig is, you don't know what you might see or enjoy that day, whether it be new friends you meet, new bands you see, new food you try. The overall experience, that's what you're signing up for.
Would you argue that in terms of a rock and metal festival, this is probably the most diverse in Australia?
I think so, and I can't take credit for that because I think Jason, as the head programmer for Adelaide, Jason's very good. He's a very good programmer, so I think that he's sort of set the benchmark there. And me and him working together to put this one together, it was not us stressed out at each other, but the process could get a bit stressful, like going, "Oh, is this going to work for you? Is this going to work for you?" Bang, 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 bang. But it was so good. Like, really enjoyed it. We were all on the phone, multiple times a day, going, "Oh, we've got this. Oh, fuck, we just lost that. Oh, all this sort of stuff." So that was a lot of fun. But I got to give Jason credit for that because he's come out, he's built, even going back to New Dead and things like that. Jason's always been good at putting a good lineup together, whereas Adelaide bands with nationals or whatever, and it's just an extension of what he's done. So following suit, we've done that before over here with Slayfest and things like that. Which is fine, and obviously I had the experience of doing it with the Hammersonic Festival. But I think what I brought to the table there, plus what Jace was already doing, if only people knew what we had on the table and then didn't, and then the lineup you come up with. Because what people see, whether it be any festival, what people see is not always that. It might be a B or C version of what the promoter or curator had in mind at the start. So and there's bits of those components in what we have here. There's actually quite a lot of what we were chasing that we landed. So we're pretty happy with that.
You touched on earlier that obviously this is year 5 and it's been going for 4 years previously in Adelaide. You've got your 20 years worth of experience with Soundworks.
Yeah.
What do you bring then to Froth and Fury in year 5?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, we obviously have a lot of the direct contacts with a lot of the artists and agents, managers, things like that we've developed over the years. And for me personally, I like we kind of touched on there, that experience of coming in and working with Jason to sort of expand this thing out and bring it into Perth and all that sort of stuff as well. So I think that the 20 odd years of doing this and knowing how the artists work, how Perth might react. There's a lot of have you thought of this? Have you thought of that goes on behind the scenes and all that as well, that we all sort of take that on board from each other and things like that. But I just guess for me personally, to answer your question, that what I bring to the table, I guess, is just that experience of what I've been doing for 20 years, knowing what bands are going to work, what ones aren't, and most of it without having to look at a Spotify or anything like that. So, convincing certain bands that they should come and do it. I was doing that with Adelaide beforehand when I had no vested interest. Like, you've got to come out and just do, something. Even if you don't tour with us, do that. So, that kind of thing. yeah, and I think just working together as a team as well is something that we all really enjoy. So I love just working with those guys. It's great.
I love the image of the music promoter convincing bands to be on the show.
Yeah,
Fucking
well,
dark alleyway.
yeah, just a little cloak and come over here.
You will play that show, okay?
Yeah,
So,
we have a
um,
handshake agreement with the promoter.
so in terms of Perth, what can you tell us about the venue and the setup and uh, just the general where it's going to be, basically?
Yeah, well, we're at Perth HPC, Perth High Performance Centre, which used to be HBF Stadium down in a place called Mount Clermont, near Perry Lake. So any of the Perth people listening will understand where that is. It was a different choice because we're not just like a straight out outdoor like Adelaide is. We have our main stage is actually indoor in a 5,000 capacity arena inside, and then we're building a stage out on the grass area out the front, and then we have a smaller stage down to the right of the venue, which is like we're calling the compound stage, which will be more sort of local bands and some national touring acts and stuff like that. So our layout it's very going to be very accessible for everyone, and also very easy to get around and navigate. We're making sure Anita and I put a lot of effort. Anita, our event manager, one of the partners in Froth, have put a lot of effort into um, how easy we want to make this for punters to get around once they get through that gate. You can literally look left and right and go, okay, that way's this, that way's this. I mean, obviously there'll be signage and everything, but we want it to be a very accessible site, which it is going to be. So it's something a little bit different. It's not like just most of the festivals here in Perth, the bigger ones in the past, the Big Day Out, Soundwaves, and for obvious reasons, have been at showgrounds and things like that, and they've had to be because they're so big. But with ours in this capacity, we feel we could not get away with. We feel it was the perfect environment to sort of bring the festival to the market. And also saying that it's going to be the end of January, there's potential for the weather to be what it'll be over here, dry, hot. So being able to create those shaded areas for people to get a reprieve and stuff like that was definitely high on the agenda. So yeah.
As a Scotsman, I'm all about shade.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, when I had a look at the venue location, this was a couple of months ago. It's not in the city centre though, is it? It's out in one of the burbs. It's how easy
Yeah,
is it to
it's
get
sort
to
of
from?
it's west of the city, so it's literally we are like 500 meters from the beach from Cottesloe. So it's there will be a nice sea breeze coming in, what we call the Fremantle Doctor here. But I think about 2:30, 3 o'clock, you can set your watch to it. Like in summer, it just comes in and cools the afternoon down. But yeah, it's probably I reckon 15-minute drive from the Perth CBD. So I mean, we'll have buses running from local train stations, everything like that. All that information is about to come out in the next month, along with site maps and venue walkthrough. We're going to do a walkthrough video and really kind of point out a lot of what's going on with all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just a little bit out. It's easier to deal with council that way, all that sort of stuff as well. So, and again, we wanted to identify a site that was somewhere just a little bit different and do something a bit different with it, rather than just the standard sites that everyone uses.
I mean, obviously, Perth has its a geographical disadvantage,
Yep.
but it obviously also has quite a core fan base as well
Yep.
because of the logistics, which is an advantage. So, what sort of experiences from them have worked with the festival at this point?
Well, I think that's part of that. Perth being, well, yeah, I should say the isolation being one of the most, well, if not the most isolated city in the world. It's there's a vibe here in Perth where people like to consider things their own. That's ours and take ownership and stuff like that. So that's something we've definitely tried to lean into here. Is make this your own sort of festival, make this your own thing, which is something a bit different, I think, from what we do with Soundworks as a touring company, because we've never kind of gone, oh, we're Soundworks, we're all about Perth, we're all about that. We're about being a national touring company, so that's what that has to be. I think some of the challenges is Perth. It is a smaller city. I think our population is larger than Adelaide's nowadays, but there is only a certain amount of people that your standard metal people that go to the gigs that we would usually put on. I think we probably have a core sort of 2,000 odd people that we're pitching at each time, whether they like to go to this gig or that gig or whatever. As far as the extreme heavy metal side of things goes, then obviously that expands out a lot more into your Polaris fan group and Parkway Drive fan group, and it starts to become tens of thousands type thing. So I think the biggest challenge with that is how many people in Perth go out to gigs and how clogged the market gets at a certain point type thing. So I guess creating that real point of difference, which is what we've tried to do with this Froth lineup, which, parlays with Adelaide as well, is really create a diverse kind of lineup that's not just metalcore and deathcore. It's not just death metal and thrash metal. So I think that's part of that challenge has been trying to hit that sweet spot of how do we get people from this area and this area and this area, or these scenes, to all come together and go, hey, this is actually one good thing. So, which I think, again, Adelaide's done that very well over the years and growing up and out. And I think, rather than start off at 700 like they did and just come up, we have come out and just tried to match what they're doing, because we believe that the Perth fan base is there and we'll support it and is supporting it. So, that's basically... It's a challenge to get people to understand that this is a really cool thing, and if you support it, it's going to stick around. And if you don't, well, there's nothing we can do about that. So the market's been screaming for it, so we've given it to them.
So when the first couple of years it was here, Pirate Life was the froth. Okay, that was the alcohol that was here.
Yep.
My understanding is now that there's a different beer for this one, and it is a West Australian one. Is that right?
For Perth, there'll be different SKUs for each city. I can't go too far into all that. We're about to sort of release a bunch of that sort of information soon. But Anita, again, our event manager and one of the partners in the festival, she's done a great job with sort of navigating that. What works for Adelaide, what works for Perth. Some of it's the same across both. Some of it's not. Some of it's sort of specific to each city. But there was a step away from Pirate Life. But again, that had nothing to do with me and my involvement. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But there's definitely some things that are across both festivals, but then some little sort of nuanced bits which are specific to each festival.
So it's fair to say that the Perth Festival will actually have a few elements of it that will be quite parochial and West Australian based. Not.
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure.
One of the other things that Froth's really good at is they get bands back from the past. Okay, so Double Dragon this year, Day of Contempt last year, as an example. My understanding is when I was doing research was that you used to be in a band 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Would you consider coming out of retirement for the festival?
Which band are you talking about?
Well, you decide. I don't know how big they were. Yeah. I wasn't here 20 years ago. So.
No. Those days are over. So, I've played in some bands since then, but more so just mates bands and, playing bass and whatever. And I didn't want to be part of this for a while. But I think last time I really played was a grind band back around 2009. But, I realised I'm much better on this side than that side. So that kind of thing. But we did Dicey and I and some mates. We had a power metal band called Battle Sword Steelmaster. I think we did a New Dead one year. So that was more that was more just a piss take fun thing. So in saying that, one of the guys actually was on to me the other day about going in and just recording a bunch of stuff and actually making an album out of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'll see you in Perth then. I'm coming over for that. So
excellent.
I'll see you. I'll see you then. Thanks very much for your time, Brad.
Yeah, cheers, Ian. Thanks, man.
Take care.